Good morning, guys. My name is Jillian Major. I am the middle art teacher at First Congregational Church in Muskegon, Michigan. And we are working on the Progressive Christianity curriculum, which our church has purchased, but we do not own the copyrights to. So today we are still in Unit 6, which is called Peace and Justice, and we are on Lesson 2, which is called Thich Nhat Hanh, Peace Activist. So today we're going to continue talking about peace and justice, and we are going to learn about a man named Thich Nhat Hanh. He stood up for his beliefs no matter what happened to him, and he kept doing what he thought would bring peace to the world by helping others in need and by teaching inner peace and mindfulness. So if you followed along with our Facebook videos, in a previous lesson we learned about the 10 mindful movements which were created by Thich Nhat Hanh. If you're interested, there's a couple YouTube videos, or you can just, you can find a tutorial on Google by Googling Thich Nhat Hanh 10 Mindful Movements, and that is spelled ThichNhatHanh. So I'm going to read you a story about his life, and I'm going to show you a couple pictures, and then we are going to get into our activity. So, Part 1, Thich Nhat Hanh's childhood experience, and I will show you a picture of him real quick. This is obviously not him as a child. This is him as he got a little bit older. You might recognize him, maybe not. So anyway, Thich Nhat Hanh was born in North Vietnam. Now he is a Buddhist teacher, and his students call him Thai, which means teacher in Vietnamese. When Thai was about 7 years old, he saw a picture of the Buddha in a magazine. He thought the Buddha looked so peaceful and happy that he decided that he wanted to become peaceful just like the Buddha. And this is a picture, probably similar to what he might have seen. One day, Ty's school class took a trip to the top of a nearby mountain where a hermit lived alone. He was eager to meet the hermit and learn from him how to be happy and peaceful like the Buddha. The day before the trip, he prepared food for a picnic, rice balls with sesame seeds and peanuts. When they arrived at the mountain, Ty and his friends quickly climbed up until they finally came to a small hut. But to their disappointment, the hermit wasn't there. They looked all around but couldn't find him. The other boys were thirsty and hungry and headed back down the mountain to have lunch. Ty was tired and very thirsty too, but he didn't want to give up and kept looking for the hermit. Then, off in the distance, he heard the sound of water. It was lovely, like the sound of tinkling music. He followed the sound and soon discovered a pool of cool, clear water coming out of a natural well in the rocks. He scooped up the water in his hands and drank. It was so delicious. As he relaxed next to the well, he felt so happy and content that he didn't even mind that he hadn't found the hermit. Then he had a thought. Maybe the hermit had magically transformed himself into the cool, fresh water. Ty was calm, peaceful, and happy inside, just like the Buddha. Ty has written about that day on the mountain, saying, "I met my hermit in the form of a well. The image of the well and the sound of dripping water are still alive in me today. You too may have met your hermit. Perhaps not as a well, but as something else equally marvelous. Perhaps it was a rock, a tree, a star, or a beautiful sunset. The hermit is the Buddha inside of you. Maybe you haven't met your hermit yet, but if you look deeply, your hermit will be revealed to you. It is inside of you. In fact, all the wonderful things that you are looking for, happiness, peace, and joy, can be found inside of you. You do not need to look. May be found inside of you. You do not need to look anywhere else." When Ty was 16, he joined a monastery and lived with others who wanted to practice mindfulness and find peace inside themselves. Although he had a peaceful life at the monastery, his country was at war. He watched many people suffering, and he wanted to help. He organized groups of young people to rebuild villages and help the injured. He encouraged people to find peaceful solutions to their differences. He even came all the way to the United States to talk about the importance of peace. But many people in Vietnam wanted the war to continue. They declared, "We want to fight until the end." They didn't like Ty encouraging others to become peaceful, and when he tried to return to Vietnam, the government wouldn't let him. He no longer had a home. He was angry, sad, and worried. He said, "I was like a bee taken out of the beehive." Every night he dreamed that he was home in Vietnam, but when he woke up, he wasn't there. So he used the practice of mindfulness to get in touch with the trees, the birds, the flowers, the children, and the people wherever he was. He discovered that he was at home no matter where he was living. Ty continued to work for peace. Eventually, the war in his country ended, but he was not allowed to visit his home for 39 years. In the meantime, he started a community in France called Plum Village, which is where he lives now. So this is a picture of Plum Village. Plum Village is a place for people to come to practice peace, meditation, and mindfulness. So, part 2 of the story is called Thich Nhat Hanh's Plum Village Experience. At Plum Village lived a little girl named Tui with her father. She was only 4.5 years old. When her father had to go to the city to find work, Tai took care of her. Tui and Tai agreed that when it was time for him to do his sitting meditation, she would brush her teeth, put on her pajamas, and go to bed. For many days, they followed this nightly routine. Tai meditated, and Tui slept quietly. On a hot afternoon, Tui came in from playing outside. She was very thirsty, so Tai poured her some cold apple juice. Because the juice had just been freshly pressed, there was a lot of apple pulp floating in the glass. Tui refused to drink it because it was cloudy. She pouted and went back inside. Tai left the glass of juice on the table. After an hour had passed, Tui came back inside, thirstier than ever. Tai pointed to the apple juice sitting on the table. She picked it up and eagerly drank half of it. "Is this a different glass?" she asked. "No," Tai said. "It's the same glass. It had been sitting quietly for a bit, and now it's clear and delicious." Tui looked at the glass and asked, "Was it meditating like you?" Tai replied, "Let's just say that I imitate apple juice when I sit." Now, when he teaches meditation, he explains that we should just let our thoughts settle to the bottom of our mind so they can just be clear, just as the pulp from the apple juice settled out in the glass, leaving the juice clear. So that is the end of the story, and I can read you a couple of questions real quick, and then we'll work on the activity. So, do you sometimes feel that your mind is filled with lots of thought all floating around at the same time? Tai felt total peace and happiness when he was at the well. Have you ever felt happy and peaceful on the inside? Where were you when you felt like that? Have you ever been away from home and felt homesick? What did you do to feel better, and what did Tai do? When you feel calmness on the inside, how do you act on the outside? How do you treat others when you are feeling loving, calm, and peaceful on the inside? Can you be as still as an apple? Can your busy mind be as quiet as a pebble? So, here we go on it's actually a meditation activity. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple photos, and what you will need is an envelope, or you might be able to just use a piece of paper and make yourself a little baggie, or even just a little baggie would be fine. So you can help your mind become clear and still, just like Tui's glass of apple juice, by doing a breathing meditation. It's called the pebble meditation. So before that, we're going to decorate your whatever you're going to hold your pebbles in, and you'll also need to find four small pebbles. So for the first, you're going to put 4 drawings on your envelope. So here is a picture of a sunflower field. So how might you feel if you were like a flower? You might feel beautiful or fresh. And here is a mountain scene. So how would you feel if you were like a mountain? Maybe strong, concentrated, solid, firm. Here's a picture of a still lake. So you might feel calm. You can see that it is reflecting what is around it. Peaceful. Here's a picture of a sunset sky. So if you were as wide as the blue sky above you, you might feel spacious, feel space all around you, free. So on your envelope, I want you to draw 4 pictures, just a scene, with a beautiful flower, a solid mountain, a still lake, and the blue sky. And then you're going to take your pebbles, and we're going to take one of our pebbles, and I'm going to read to you. Pick up one of your pebbles and hold it in your hand. Close your eyes. Breathe in and see yourself as a flower. Breathe out. Feel yourself fresh. You are beautiful. Breathe in, flower. Breathe out, fresh. In, flower. Out, fresh. Put that pebble down and pick up another pebble. Breathe in and see yourself as a mountain. Breathe out and feel yourself solid. Nothing can distract you. Breathe in, mountain. Breathe out, solid. In, mountain. Out, solid. Put that pebble down and pick up a third pebble. Breathe in and see yourself as a clear lake of water. Breathe out and feel yourself so calm that you can reflect everything around you. Breathe in, water. Breathe out, reflection. In, water. Out, reflection. Put that pebble down and pick up the last pebble. Breathe in and imagine that you are the big open blue sky. Breathe out and feel space all around you and inside of you. You are free. Breathe in, sky. Breathe out, free. In, sky. Out, free. So that is the end of the meditation, and I hope you enjoyed it. And that is it today for our lesson. I hope to see you back next week, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.